Your financial advisor will never say this to your face. The 2008 crash minted more first generation millionaires than almost any bull market that followed it. Here is the uncomfortable truth most financial content refuses to say out loud. Recessions do not destroy wealth, they transfer it from the people who panic to the people who are prepared. The question is not whether the next downturn is coming. The question is, which side of that transfer are you going to land on? So let's start with the basics because I think a lot of people misunderstand what a recession actually is. A recession is not some rare catastrophic event. Technically, it just means the economy contracts for 2 consecutive quarters or more. Spending slows down, unemployment climbs, businesses pull back. That is it. And here is what the headlines will never remind you of: the dot-com crash in 2000, the housing collapse in 2008, the sudden COVID shock in 2020. Every single one of those felt like the world was ending. And every single time the economy recovered, markets climbed back up, and the people who held their nerve came out ahead. Recessions are not anomalies, they are part of the cycle, and cycles by definition always turn. Now, if you want to get ahead of the next one, you need to understand how crashes actually develop because they do not appear overnight, they brew. The pattern usually goes something like this: interest rates stay low for a long time, credit flows freely, everyone feels confident, asset prices rise faster than they should, people start investing in things they do not fully understand just because everything seems to be going up. Then something shifts. Maybe inflation gets out of control. Maybe interest rates get hiked hard. Maybe a global shock arrives nobody saw coming. Fear replaces confidence. People rush for the exits all at once. Prices collapse, and the media amplifies every bit of panic they can find. But here is the part worth paying attention to. The warning signs are almost always visible beforehand. The Federal Reserve aggressively raising interest rates, inflation climbing while wages stay flat, large companies starting rounds of layoffs, wild swings in the stock market with no clear direction, consumer spending pulling back, credit becoming harder to access. You do not need a finance degree to read these signals. You just need to be paying attention. When several of these line up together, that is your signal to start getting ready. Getting ready means a few specific things. First, build a cash buffer, 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses sitting in an accessible account. This is not just about emergency protection. It is about having the psychological freedom to invest when others are panic selling. Second, clear out high interest debt. Carrying 20% credit card interest while trying to build wealth is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Deal with it. Third, automate your investing. Set up consistent contributions into a retirement account or brokerage account on a schedule. Dollar cost averaging means you stop trying to guess the perfect moment and instead let the market's dips work in your favor over time. Now let's talk about the mistakes because this is where most people actually lose money, not during the crash itself, but in how they respond to it. The biggest one is panic selling. Watching your portfolio drop 30 or 40% feels genuinely awful. Every instinct tells you to stop the bleeding. But here is the thing: a loss on paper is not a real loss until you lock it in by selling. Markets have recovered from every significant crash in modern history. The people who sold at the bottom turned a temporary dip into a permanent loss. The second mistake is waiting to feel safe before investing again. By the time it feels safe, the opportunity is already mostly gone. Markets typically recover fast and early, meaning the biggest gains happen before the fear has even left the room. The third mistake is chasing whoever is loudest during a crisis. Every downturn produces a wave of people claiming they have recession-proof strategies. Most of it is noise. Stick to fundamentally strong investments, broad index funds that track the overall market, dividend-paying companies with consistent cash flow, real assets that hold value over time. Here is where the real opportunity comes in. When markets crash, world-class companies go on sale. And if you have been consistent and patient, you get to buy them at a significant discount. Think about what $1,000 invested into a broad market index fund right after the 2008 collapse would have looked like by the end of the following decade. That single decision made at the scariest possible moment would have multiplied several times over. The wealthy understand this math deeply. That is why they are moving when everyone else is frozen. But none of the strategy works without the right mindset underneath it. Recession investing demands that you act when it feels most uncomfortable, that you stay disciplined when the people around you are losing composure. Warren Buffett's famous line captures it perfectly. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. That is not just a clever quote. That is a literal blueprint for how generational wealth gets built. Here is your takeaway. Do not wait for the crash to start preparing. By the time it hits the news cycle, the window for getting ready has already partially closed. Start building your emergency fund now. Get your debt under control now. Set up automated investing now. Diversify across different asset types so no single event wipes you out. And when the market eventually dips, and it will, stay calm and keep going. Wealth does not vanish during a recession, it moves. And now you know exactly how to position yourself to receive it rather than lose it. If this helped you think about money differently, drop a comment and tell me where you are starting. Small steps still count. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this channel is dedicated to giving you real strategies to build lasting financial security no matter what the economy is doing. See you in the next one.